It seems as if every day we are learning more and more about the formation of this one world government, the New World Order, and that is prophesied by the name of the beast in the book of Revelation. We have been studying that for at least 5 lessons here on the Gospel Truth. And today we're going to try to finish up with the man of sin, and that is Satan's man, one that has been put in power to rule this last world government, and he is a very vicious person, as we have learned. He is appropriately styled the man of sin, Satan man, and the beast, because he represents the beast, which is out of the pits of hell, which is Satan's rule on earth, and he is the leader of that, and he has no mercy, no compassion. Just like a beast, the only thing that he will be interested in is achieving his goal. And as I said, his goal is the New World Order, and after that, subjugation of all the citizens of this country and of the world that will not obey him or worship him, as we have read in Revelation 13. I want to go back to Revelation 13 to begin our study today. We did read the last 7, 8 verses of Revelation 13 last week, but we did not comment on it too much. I think it would be appropriate to make some final comments on Revelation, the 13th chapter, before we go into our next study. It says here, beginning at the 13th verse, that he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And as I've said time and time again, as a matter of fact, I've been saying this for many years, that this is a result of technology. The Bible does say very plainly that that he will work miracles, that the devil is going to give him those powers. But I am convinced that this is a technical device and means by which he will make fire come down on the earth. And I believe that he has already tested and he's perfected that method. There are people that have just caught a fire and burn up. They call human spontaneous combustion. Now, most of us are astute enough to know that we are not so framed and so constituted by our anatomy that we'll just catch on fire and burn up. So then we must deduce that it is some power, some instrument that is being used to set any human being on fire that catches a fire and burn up. And so there's no such thing as spontaneous combustion for human beings. And so I assume and I believe that that is the device that is being spoken of here in Revelation 13. And I believe that for many years, that by laser or some rays, this man of sin will be able to call fire down from heaven and incinerate all those that don't fall in line and worship him. And so it says here that he will be able to call fire down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he hath power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by the sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Image speaking in our time is not thought to be something that is impossible. We recognize that an image is a representation of something else. It could be a statue, it could be a picture, it could be a moving picture, it could be anything, but anyway, the image would be speaking. The image of the beast, of this individual. And when this image appears, it will speak, and people will be worshiping this image of the beast. And since the beast is represented by this man, then I would think that this man would be the image that people would be worshiping. According to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, it said that people would be worshiping him. When they worship him, they are worshiping the beast. And when they worship the beast, they are worshiping also the dragon. So it says here, if you look at 13th chapter, verse 4, it says, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. This verse says plainly that if you worship the beast, you're worshiping the dragon. And in verse 14, it says here that he would make an image of the beast, which had the wound by the sword that did live, and he had power to give life unto the image, and that people would be worshiping the image of the beast. And according to the last part of verse 15, it says that those, as many as would not worship the image of the beast, should be killed. The difference between God and the difference between God and Satan as it relates to worship is God says, whosoever will, let him come. It's a matter of choice, that if a person chooses not to worship my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, then the Lord's not going to force him in this world to worship him. But Satan is different. Satan says that you don't have any choice in the matter. The only choice that you've got if you don't worship me is to die. And so it said that all the people of all the world, of every nation, every kindred, and every tongue, that if they don't worship the beast, then they're going to be killed. Now, can you imagine a world like that? And this is an indication that it makes no difference what your religious persuasion is, as we say, whether you're Catholic or whether you're Buddhist, whether you're Muslim or whether you're Hindu. It says that everybody of all religious persuasions, false or true, they're going to be caused to worship the beast or to die. And it said in verse 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man, it doesn't make any difference how much money you've got, it doesn't make any difference how much status you've got or how well you think that you're in with the system. It says no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now we wonder sometime why some people who are in business and they have a lot of money, that the system puts pressure on them and they threaten them with prosecution, and usually by the time the government get through with them, it doesn't make any difference whether they are on Microsoft or Dell or whether they're the lady that's been on trial now. If they don't fall in line, it doesn't make any difference what they accuse them of. They will ruin them or they fall in line. It's easy for a person, once they've seen the power of the government and see what they can do to them, to give up $50 million to fund their projects. And those that do not fall in line, then They usually wind up in jail and sometime even worse. Well, that's the kind of government we see here that's being formed, that people will have no choice. If they want to continue to operate their business, if they want to continue to buy and sell,